Namo Doi Saurihantanam, Namo Doi Sauridanam, Namo Doi Saurayiriyanam, Namo Doi Saurjayanam, Namo Doi Sautridalavati Savanam, Omkaram Sanyukta Nityam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Okshadam Omkaraya Namo Namo, Manganam Bhagavanayo, Manganam Gautamuni, Mangalam Kunkundariyo, Jendram Osumangalam Namasanarisadani. Swanubhutya Chakasti Swadhay Bhavaya Sarvana Vibhava Niyusanidata.
Namo Arantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryanam, Namo Vajjanam, Namo Loya Savasanam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Sarva Pavapanasam, Manglalancha Savasing Padamam Harinam, Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityan Dhayanti Yoginam, Kamadam Mokshadam Cheva, Omkaraya Namo Nama, Namo Samaysaraya, Swanubhutya Chakasate, Chitsava Bhavaya, Sarva Bhavantarachide, Ajnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjansalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guru Namo Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Ne Tirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane, Namo Omkaranadane, Omkara Sangarotene, Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane, Aho Upakara Jinavarno Kundana Dvani Devano, Jina Kunda Dhaniyatya, Aho Te Guru Kanano, Aho Te Bhagavati Matano, Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Sidane Vandi Kahu Sutta Kevalika Thita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Eka Sudha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamaya Kare Kayanyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Natiyari Om Namah Siddhevyo Om Namah Siddhevyo, Om Namah Siddhevyo. Okay, so today we are going to go through the first stanza. What we have talked so far, we had talked somewhat about the beginning, but now we are going to go through the detail as Gurudev Sri gives the lecture on it to tell us exactly what is this first stanza means. Gurudev gives tremendous amount of detailed explanation for all the things, and so that's what we are going to go for it. Bhaven is there, and so I think I'm going to have Bhaven to do the recording also, you know. So let me just make Bhaven up here. Allowed to record. Bhaven, you can record right now. So you have I found out that you know, I can give the command from here, so you can record there. Okay, so here we are just going to go through the detailed analysis of first stanza as Gurudev has described. Gurudev describes in extreme detail, and he covers all the different aspects of each and every word. It could be a very simple looking word, but then he will go and give a detailed, so much detailed explanation that we just said, wow, I never thought that it can be like this, you know? So that's what we are going to do. So the Samaysar, the way we have to understand each stanza will have Upodghat. Upodghat means there is about 1 or 2 lines written on the top of each stanza. So it just tells exactly what author wants to talk in this stanza. So that is called Upodghat, or called kind of an introduction for that stanza. So here we are, and okay, so prior to each stanza, there is introductory sentence comes, and that is called Upodghat. In the first stanza, it says that the original creator, Sri Kunkunacharya Dev, in the beginning of the scripture, commits the resolution by showing invocation of blessings. Remember, as we said, any time anybody in our scripture speaks or writes, he does invocation of blessings. He does Mangalacharan. We just also sang some few lines of Mangalacharan. Same way, Jaichand Chabda also gave 6 stanza as a Mangalacharan that we went through in detail. Then Acharya Amritchandracharya Dev also gave 3 most important stanza as a Mangalacharan. And now when Kunkun Swami starts the very first stanza is a Mangalacharan. He just tells what is the subject matter in this stanza. So this is kind of a preface that each time when we look at any book, we read the preface, then we understand what is this book about. Similarly, this is a preface, this introduction of a subject, resolution, invocation of blessings, whatever we call it, that this is the system in Indian philosophies, that one stanza or maybe 2 stanza will give the meaning of the whole scripture. For example, in Atmasiddhi Shastra, out of 142 stanza, the very first stanza, Je Swarupa Samajavina Pamyo Dukhanan Samajavyu Te Padanamu Sri Sadguru Bhagavan. In that first stanza alone, Kripaludev just told us that I'm going to talk about soul is there, soul is forever, soul is a doer, soul is an enjoyer, liberation is there, and path to liberation is there. So all those 6 things are included in the first 2 stanza of the Atmasiddhi. Similarly, over here, Kunkun Swami says that I'm going to take a resolution by showing my respect to the Almighty. Who is that Almighty? Well, let's see. Kunkunacharya Dev has created this scripture. First stanza is a Mangalacharan. Then Samaysar means the description of eternal pure nature of the soul. As we said, that Namah Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhava Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide. When we went in that stanza, that was the Amritchandracharya's Mangalacharan, that gave the nature of the soul. What is the soul about? We talked a lot about it, so we are not going to repeat those things. But so Samaysar is going to give me description of the eternal pure nature of the soul. So soul consists of substance, attributes, and modes. Out of all these things, when I know everything, I know about the soul as a substance, soul as attribute, and soul as a modes, those total knowledge of the soul that I may have it, that is called Praman Gnan. That's called comprehensive knowledge. That's a knowledge from all the aspect about the soul. Now, if I know all the aspect about soul, but now what am I looking? I am looking that I would like to have my attention focused on the eternal true nature of the soul, eternal conscious nature of the soul. When I focus my attention to that entity, that's called Dravya Drashti, then I can get Samyak Darshan. Do I want Samyak Darshan? Yes. Do I want to know how to get it? Yes. Kunkun Swami says, okay, you are at the right place. I'll explain to you how to get it, because I'm going to describe about the eternal pure nature of the soul. And once you put your vision to that, once you put your faith to that, once you put your undivided attention to that, then you will get a Samyak Darshan. So he says, further he says, soul is separate from the physical material body. We talked about that before. Soul is detached from the material karma. Yes. Soul is also devoid of auspicious and inauspicious inclination. Rag and Dvesh Bhav also is not from the not belonging to soul. Punya and Pap does not belong to soul. They don't belong to soul. Why? Because Punya and Pap, auspicious and inauspicious inclination. Punya Bhav, Pap Bhav. How does it occur to me? Because I project myself to the outside alien objects. I like this car. Because I put my attention to the car, I liked it. I don't like to have my diabetes with me because I projected myself towards my body. So my likes and dislikes, they are occurring because I'm projecting myself to the outside alien objects. So Rag and Dvesh, Punya and Pap, it's not the true nature of the soul. They occur because the soul has brought the attention to the alien objects. Because of that thing, because of that nature, it has been said that auspicious, inauspicious inclination, as well as inclination of attachment and aversion, rag and dvesh, they all do not belong to the true nature of eternal soul substance. There is no attribute in the soul to tell him to do the to do the deluding capacity to be in the deluded state. There is no attribute in the soul telling us that okay, you can do the punya, you can do pap. No, nothing is there. It is entirely my projecting to the outside of the material things. That's why there is rag and dvesh, inclination of attachment and aversion, and there is auspicious, inauspicious inclination, punya and pap bhav. So they don't belong to the true nature of the eternal soul. There is no transiency present within. Now, this is really a little tricky subject coming over here. As we say that soul has a substance, attribute, and mode. So soul as a combined total object has three things: substance, attributes, and modes. Now over here it says there is no transiency present within, means there are no modes in the soul, because I'm going to look at the soul from the substance perspective. Substance is eternal. Substance is permanent in nature. Substance has no transformation. Substance is just inert in nature. Whatever way it is, it's always there. The gold sitting in the mine for ages, and gold sitting in my bank locker with a pure Canadian maple leaf pure gold. Both the things, the mine having the dirt with the gold particle mixed, the gold particle by itself is pure. So pure, same as the maple leaf, Canadian maple leaf pure gold coin. So the mode is transitory in nature. Mode occurs, and it occurs for a one samay and it disappears. That's why I cannot focus my attention to the mode. I have to draw my attention to the eternal, pure, permanent nature of the soul. So considering from the substance perspective that in the soul there is not even mode. Even though modes are there, you have to make them secondary. Okay, I'm driving on a 495 east. I'm trying to go to Manhattan. My aim is to go to Manhattan. So on the freeway, I can see all different exits they come and go. I just look at it, but I don't register it. I make them secondary. My goal is to take that Midtown tunnel to go to Manhattan. That is my goal. So rest of the things, they become secondary. They are there. The airport exit will come, LaGuardia exit will come, Queens Boulevard will come, all those things will come. But I don't pay attention to that. My goal is to go to tunnel. So same way here, my goal is to look at the eternal, permanent, pure nature of the soul. So rest of the things, even though they are present, that I make them as, excuse me, excuse me, I make them as secondary. I ignore them, even though they occur within me. So this is kind of very tricky point that we have to keep in our mind, that when Acharya Bhagavan talks about mode, he will make a big deal out of it, and he will say mode is there, and mode occurs with his 6 karaks and everything, and mode is independent, and mode has no attachment to anything, and all kind of description will come. But now when we talk about the substance aspect of the soul, then mode will become secondary. Mode's existence will become secondary. It's not that we are going to discard. We're just going to make them secondary, because my primary aim is eternal pure substance. So that's why when we are talking about the pure nature of the eternal substance, then the modes are there, but I'm just telling that they are not present there. In fact, they are made secondary. So I think we should just improve this point and just say, instead of no transient present within dash, modes are made secondary. Okay. And soul is eternal in nature, because soul as a substance is eternal. And what does its soul having with the eternal soul substance? What does it have? It has consciousness, and it's also full of supersensuous bliss. That means soul has attributes present. Soul is eternal in nature, and so is consciousness is eternal in nature, and so is supersensuous bliss is eternal in nature, and so are the infinite attributes present in the soul. They all are present in the soul eternally. So here we have the attributes and the soul substance. Infinite attributes within and the soul substance. The attributes and soul substance, they both act as an indivisible state. For example, if I just tell you this is sugar, and there is an attributes of sweetness in the sugar, and you put the needle inside and take the sweetness out from the sugar. Can you do that? No. Sugar means sweetness, sweetness means sugar. That's it. They are indivisibility. Similarly, all the attributes in the soul have the indivisibility with the soul substance. So if the soul is there as a substance, then attributes are there. If attributes are there, then soul is present. So they cannot be existing independently. They both exist together. So this is what consciousness and supersensuous bliss. Word consciousness, we still have to understand little bit. Probably we talked before, but it's better to just revise once again. Consciousness is chaitanyatva, chetan. Chetan means consciousness has 2 elements present: knowledge and perception. Perception means generalized perception of things, and knowledge means specific things, specific knowledge of a specific thing. For example, how big is country? Well, I'm living in the United States of America. So that's generalized statement. Now, what does this country has it? Well, there are 50 states are there. Each state has lots, and each state has one capital city, and there are lots of other cities are there. The blacks are living, whites are living, Asians are living, Indians are living, all kind of. When we make the divisions, when you make the specific specific divisions of those things. That's called knowledge. General thing, this is the country. That's it. So that's a perception. So perception and knowledge combined together is called consciousness or chaitanyatva. Chetna gun, Chetna is a gun of the Chetna is an attribute of our soul, and that attribute is so important. It is extraordinary attribute because that attribute, especially the knowledge attribute, knows the self as well as knows the all the alien objects of the universe. So that's a extreme most important work that knowledge is doing, and that's why the all knower substance is called soul, or knowing capacity is called soul, and soul is knowledge, knowledge is soul. That kind of things will be listening quite a few times. That's why there's a word used, gnayak. Gnayak means the one who has capacity to know. Who has a capacity to know? Soul has a capacity to know. How does he know? Because it has a consciousness element. What does consciousness element has it? Perception and knowledge. And so here the knowledge is most important. So this is what in the Mangalacharan, in the invocation blessing, Kun Kun Swami says. So here's the original stanza that Kun Kun Swami wrote down, and underneath is one that it is in Sanskrit, and from the Sanskrit it has been translated into Gujarati. Vanditu savvasiddhe dhruva machala mono vamam gandhi patte vachami samay pahuda meenamo surakevani bhanidam. And in Gujarati it says dhruva achalane anupama gati pamel sarve siddhane vandi kahu sutta kevali bhashita samaya pravrata aho. So this is the first stanza, and each and every word is very, very, very important that we'll be going through. Now, when we are discussing, the first stanza is there. When we are going to discuss, there are three important parts. The Gurudev describes this stanza. This is the standard in all the scripture that Gurudev read about Kun Kun Swami, that there are three parts. One part is called Gatharth, means what is the meaning of this stanza? Short meaning. Each and every word there is a meaning given. So that's a Gatharth, or meaning of the stanza. Then there is a Tika. Tika means commentary by Acharya Amrut Chandracharya Dev. The Kun Kun Swami wrote down the stanza about 2000 years back. Then Acharya Amritchandracharya Dev, about 1000 years back, he wrote down commentary. Remember, between two Acharya, 1000 years of time difference. But it appears that Amritchandracharya Dev, Gurudev says this one all the time. He says that as if Amritchandracharya Dev entered into the heart of Kun Kun Swami, and he found out exactly what Kun Kun Swami wanted to say, and accordingly, Amritchandracharya Dev also wrote down the stanza that is called the commentary, and that's called Tika. So Gatharth is the first one, Tika is the second one, and then over here mainly there is a Bhavarth, which is an explanation given by Pandit Jayachandji Chabda. Jayachandji Chabda, about 250 years back, he was there, and he wrote down kind of short synopsis of each stanza also. So the Bhavarth is also written by Jason Acharya also, but mainly Gurudev has taken most of the places Pandit Jayachandji Chabda's explanation. That's a Bhavarth that will be using. So each stanza will be going through three phases: Gatharth, Tika, and Bhavarth. And so here we go now. So this is Gatharth. What does Gatharth says over here? It's a Gujarati, I'll read that one. Acharya કહે છે Dhruvam means who Dhruv, Achalam means Achal, and Anupamyam means Anupam. A ત્રણ વિશેષણથી યુક્ત ગતિ, that means ગતિને પ્રાપ્તન, પ્રાપ્ત થયેલ એવા સર્વસિદ્ધાન, સર્વસિદ્ધોને વંદિત્વા, નમસ્કાર કરી, અહો અહો સુત કેવલી ભણિતમ, સુત કેવલીઓએ કહેલા, ઇદમ આ સમય પ્રાભૃતમ, સમય નામના પ્રાભૃતને વક્ષામી કહીશ. Now, this is the general meaning, this is the Gujarati meaning of the stanza, of the, just a simple meaning of the stanza alone. Now, Gurudev has gone through each and every word and he has explained exactly what each and every word means. So we'll be going through those things as it comes. So Sri Kunkunacharya Dev gives invocation blessing in this stanza. That's a Mangalacharan. Soul is with eternity, consciousness, and supersensuous bliss, and is known as liberated soul, Siddha soul. Siddha Bhagwan's soul. What's the Siddha Bhagwan's soul is about? Siddha soul, liberated soul, is with the eternity. Of course, my soul is eternity, your soul is eternity, everybody's soul is eternity, and so is Siddha Bhagwan's soul is eternity. It's there forever. It's with the consciousness. It's with the pure consciousness, means a pure knowledge and pure perception. So that kind of a thing, the Siddha Bhagwan has it. Plus, there is supersensuous bliss. When there is a knowledge, there is a bliss. So this is the results of the knowledge, results of consciousness, results of the action of the knowledge. What is which knowledge? Knowledge, knowing about my pure nature of the soul. When I am knowing my pure nature of the soul, then I get a bliss from within. Bliss comes from within. So this supersensuous bliss and consciousness and eternity is the characteristics of the Siddha soul, means liberated soul. Now, he has explained the eternal true nature of the self and now describing its nature for himself as well as for worldly living being. What does Kunkun Swami says over here? That I'm going to describe the nature of the soul just for my own benefit, but at the same time, I have the listeners in front of me, so I'm going to explain for their purpose also. So he's going to do dual work. One, to write the stanza for his own self-fulfillment, plus at the same time, he's going to write the stanza for the benefit of the listeners like us. If Kunkun Swami was not there, we won't have all this thing in front of us. So we are extremely indebted to him that he put all these things in front of us. So that's why we are able to understand today in 10,000 miles away from India, 2,500 years after Mahaswami's Nirvana, we are still able to talk today thanks to Kunkun Swami, who went to Maide Kshetra himself, talked to Simanda Swami, he listened to the discourses of Simanda Swami, Omkar Dhvani, and then whatever questions he had about spirituality, he discussed with Gandhar Bhagwan and other Sutta Kevali and everybody. So after coming from there, he wrote down this Samaysar. We are very, very, very fortunate that today we have all these things available in front of us. This is with the initial salutation to the liberated soul. So now, Kunkun Swami gives his own Mangalacharan to the liberated soul. He did not use any specific entity's name. He did not use Mahavir Swami's name. He did not use Simanda Swami's name. He just said liberated soul, because I want to become like him. This is my aim. My aim is liberation, and so I'll bow down to liberated soul, and then I'll start my scripture writing. Continue about the same Gatha. association of the physical body is made up of non-living material particles. We know very well that my body is made up of audaric vargana, means physical body making particles. So these are the matter particles through which my body is made up of. Now, what is the soul inside? Soul inside says that these are a sweet potato. When you take the sweet potato, has an outer reddish skin and underneath having sweetness present. When we take sweet potato, the red skin is there, and if one takes the red skin out, then underneath there is a sweetness present. Similarly here, soul is wrapped with the auspicious and inauspicious inclination. Soul is wrapped by punya and pap bhav, which is not my true nature, but soul is wrapped up with that. Now, when this punya and pap bhav are removed, when they are removed, then underneath there is super sensuous bliss of sweetness present. As in the sweet potato, under the skin there is sweetness. Same thing when auspicious, inauspicious inclinations are removed, then supersensuous bliss is present. This is the nature of liberated soul. So what's a liberated soul? Liberated soul is the one which has no auspicious and inauspicious inclinations. Plus, these liberated souls are infinite in number. This word is very important thing coming later on, because some of the philosophies, for example, Hindu philosophies believe that there is one almighty central God present, and when we go for liberation, then we just go and merge in that big entity. So I do all kind of activities, I do all spiritual work and everything, I purify my soul, and when my liberation comes, I lose my existence total and I merge into the whole big universal entity called Paramatma. It's not true. Why? Why will I keep on working spiritually to purify myself and ultimately I lose my existence totally? No. Each and every soul in liberated state maintains its individuality. The day when you and me will be getting liberation, we will be sitting next, we will have the existence next to Mahavir Swami, next to Rishabdev, next to infinite liberated souls. We will have exact same capacity as any other soul there. So these are liberated souls are infinite in number. That's why this number, the sentence was added. Further going down, that it just gives the simile. Simile is a chano. Chano is a chana. Chana is a gram. It's a raw gram. A gram, if you just try to taste this chana, it will be flat in taste. It will not have any taste if it is uncooked. You go to the pantry, you take this chana out, try to eat. It's totally flat and hard in taste, very hard and flat in taste because it's not cooked or anything. But when you sow this chana into the ground, the new plant will grow. Same gram, when roasted, then sweetness comes from within, and now this chana cannot be grown again. Similarly, transmigratory soul with auspicious, inauspicious inclination and with flatness of taste produces misery and sows the seed of transmigration. I'm transmigratory soul. I have the auspicious, inauspicious type of inclination. That's why I have quote unquote flat taste, and that gives misery to me. Birth and death cycle of transmigration produces misery and unhappiness to me. But and this one is a seed for my further transmigration. My auspicious, inauspicious inclination becomes the seed for my transmigration in the future. But when roasted, means when my soul gets roasted, means when I go through the spiritual path and I opt in right faith, samyak darshan, right knowledge, samyak jnana, right conduct, samyak charitra, then sweetness of supersensuous bliss is generated, and now this soul loses the capacity for further transmigration. Anybody who experiences the true nature of the eternal soul, that means he experiences supersensuous bliss, which he never experienced before. And as soon as samyak darshan occurs, now existence, the transmigratory existence, worldly existence is extremely short-lived. Extremely short-lived. And Krupadev has said that within 1, 3, 5, or 15 human births, that person will get a liberation for sure, you know. So this is what Samyak Darshan Gnan Charitra will do to anybody. It has now obtained pure, permanent, supersensuous bliss, and that is Dhruv status. Slowly, Kunkun Swami, by giving this Chana example, brings us to the point in which it says that I have a Dhruv status. Dhruv means I have the pure, permanent status of myself within. Only thing, I have to just wake up that thing. I have to take the dust out, and I just do the dusting of my soul, and now I can see the permanent nature of my soul, which is within, residing. So that's a Dhruv status. Further, it says that the soul is also achal. Achal means immutable. We'll be going through that later on. In the ignorant state, soul is in the inauspicious, auspicious inclination state. This is occurring due to karma fruition as an instrumental cause. The material karma is non-living. It's a separate entity. It's a substance by itself. It's a matter substance. Here I am, consciousness element. I am the living element, and I have my existence over here, and there is an existence of the material karma. Material karma comes in fruition, and at that time, I join into the auspicious and inauspicious inclinations. I'm joining into the rag and dvesh bhav. What is happening? On the other side, there is a fruition of the material karma. When I look at the fruition of the material karma, I join with them. I have independent capacity to do whatever I want to do it, but here I decided to just look at the fruition of the karma, and I just simply gets myself attached to that one. Karma doesn't ask me to join him, but I just simply get attracted to it. Now, when the soul discards that status, soul gives up his auspicious, inauspicious inclinations, then obtains right knowledge and associated supersensuous bliss. The moment I take my attention away from the fruition of the old karma, then I get attention focused to my true nature of the soul. When I do that one, then I have the experience of my own soul, and with that thing, I also experience supersensuous bliss, which I have never experienced before. When I get for the first time, it is an amazing feeling, which of course we don't have it, but this is what Gnani Purush, our enlightened teachers are told, because they have experienced. So they say, when you bring your attention away from the fruition of the karma, and redirect it towards your true nature of the soul, then the supersensuous bliss occurs. This bliss was never been experienced before. Whatever I experience right now, I see I see a good scenery. I'm very happy. I like to see it. I like to listen to the nice sound, music. That's my hearing sensation. I want to smell good thing, smell sensation. I want to eat good thing, taste good thing, then tongue sensation. And I want to feel something good. I want to feel the cool breeze in the winter, cool breeze. I want to feel it. So that's my touch sensation. These are the experiences I experience through my senses. All these experiences of five senses are object dependent. I need to go out, feel the cool air, and I feel happy. I want to watch something nice, happy. I want to smell something, hear something, taste something. So everything is object dependent. Supersensuous bliss comes from within, independent of everything else. It comes from within. One never experienced before. Now I am experiences. So that's what it is. Now, when that state is obtained, that is called immutable state, means called achal. Achal means immutable, means now that I have no dependency on any material objective things, and I'm just stabilizing within me, where there is no fruition of karma affecting me, nothing. So I become immutable. In the previous slide, as we see, in the previous slide, it says Dhruv status was obtained. When when I get a right belief and right knowledge, then I get supersensuous bliss, and I obtain my the inert nature, the permanent nature of the self. And here, when I'm just giving up all the attachment to the auspicious, inauspicious inclination, then I obtain the incomparable, I obtain the immutable state. And last one is anupam, means incomparable. Soul is a soul, is a soul. Soul cannot be described with any other thing. I have a phone over here. So this phone is not 6, what is it, 6, whatever that 6 iPhone. This is 5. So this is not 6. So I can compare myself. Okay, this is an old model. Somebody has a new model. So something can be compared. I have a book over here. That book is a religious book. And of course, it is different than the book that I have, storybook. So something can be compared. Soul cannot be compared with any worldly object. Pure nature of the soul cannot be compared with anybody else. So anupam means incomparable. So the 3 adjectives are used in this stanza. Dhruva, achala, ne anupam. Dhruv, achal, anupam. Dhruv we talked in the previous slide. The first one is achal, immutable, and last bullet is anupam, means incomparable. So liberated soul cannot be compared to any worldly object. That's what it says over here. So these are the 3 adjectives that use. We are just, remember, we are still in the meaning of this stanza alone. We are not gone detailed. These are just superfluous things that Gurudev is talking about. But with those things also, he gives tremendous amount of knowledge to us. So liberated souls have constancy, means dhruv, means permanency or constancy. The liberated soul also has a immutability, means achal. One cannot compare such soul to any worldly object, that means anupam. So there are 3 adjectives for Siddha Bhagavan used over here: dhruv, achal, anupam. Constancy, immutability, and incomparability. So these are the 3 things. That's why Kunkun Swami says, because of these specific characteristics of Siddha Bhagavan, I bow down to such liberated souls. Now I'm going to tell the eternal true nature of the soul. First, I bow down to this Siddha Bhagwan. Not only one Siddha Bhagwan, infinite Siddha Bhagwan. I bow down. And once I showed my reverence, once I showed my respect to the entity, liberated soul, now I'm going to start writing about the true nature of the eternal pure soul, which is going to be good for me and good for listener also. This knowledge, I got it. Now, how did I get this knowledge? I got this knowledge from omniscience Lord and knowing masters of the scripture. Remember, Kunkun Swami, with his own body, with his own special capacity that he had it, he went from here, Bharat Kshetra, in that area of what we live is called southern part of the Jambudvip. It's called Bharat Kshetra. This is the whole globe. There's a whole Jambudvip round. The lower part is called Jambudvip. Lower part is called Bharat Kshetra. Upper part is called Airavat Kshetra. And in middle there is Mavidya Kshetra. This is the Jain geography. Once again, this whole center part is called Jambudvip. Dvip means island. Island is surrounded by ocean water. So this island, Jambudvip. Jambudvip, southern part is called Bharat Kshetra. Bharat Kshetra will include whole world that at present, whatever world we talk about, it is included in everything. Airavat Kshetra, this on the northern part of the Jambudvip, and in the center it's called Mavidya Kshetra. Why do I have to know these things? Airavat Kshetra and Bharat Kshetra, they will have time divided into 6 different parts. First ara, second ara, third ara, fourth, fifth, and sixth ara. After 6, it just becomes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this time cycle keeps on rotating, ascending time cycle, descending time cycle. So this kind of things happens in Bharat Kshetra and in Airavat Kshetra. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, then sixth ara. The 6 different times are there. Out of which on the 4th ara, on the 4th time period, 24 Tirthankar occurs in Bharat Kshetra, 24 occurs in Airavat Kshetra. So, in our area, present day time cycle, descending limb of the time cycle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, descending in the sense, happiness wise, first one is an extremely happy area, a happy time. Second one is less. Third one is less. Fourth is less. Fifth is lots of misery. And sixth one will be pure misery. So we are in the 5th time. 6th ara will be worse than what it is right now. So after this, in the 4th ara, 24 Tirthankars occur. So on the descending limb, we are in descending limb. After 5th will be 6th, and then after 6th will be another 6th, then 5th and 4th. In that 4th one, again 24 Tirthankar will be taking birth. This is in Bharat and Airavat Kshetra only. In Mavidya Kshetra, there is always some Tirthankars are always there. Minimum 20 Tirthankar and maximum 160 Tirthankar. When we go, sometimes we'll just take the class on that and we will talk about the geography, that exactly what is the universe look like. So in the center part of the Mavidya Kshetra, there is going to be minimum 20 Tirthankar, max number 160 Tirthankar. So out of this 20 Tirthankar, the first Tirthankar's name is Simandhya Swami. So Kunkun Swami from Bharat Kshetra went to Mavidya Kshetra. It is impossible for a normal human to go. It will not be possible. Only the monk with a special capacity can go by themselves. So Kunkun Swami went there, stayed for 8 days, He listened to the discourses of Simanda Swami. Remember, how does Simanda Swami give discourses? How does Mahavir Swami give discourses? They don't talk like the way we are talking. They are sitting in the Samaysar, assembly of the Lord. They are sitting there. And in Samaysar, there are 4 times a day for 96 minutes at a time from Bhagwan's entire body. A divine sound will come out, and that's called Omkar Dhvani. Omkar Dhvani will come out. This Omkar Dhvani, when it comes out, and who are the living beings sitting in the assembly, they will understand in their own language exactly what Bhagwan's Omkar Dhvani means. In the sense, I'm a very, very beginner guy in spirituality, then I will understand that much part only. If I studied little bit, I will understand that much more. If I studied the scripture in very great detail, analysis and all the thing, then I imbibe that much more knowledge from that Omkar Dhvani. Bhagwan is not going to give a lecture that just like lecture on a video conference and everything. He simply has an Omkar Dhvani comes out. So Kunkun Swami went there to Simanda Swami. He listened to that Omkar Dhvani for 8 days. And when there is Omkar Dhvani is not coming out, then there are Sut Kevalis are there. Sut Kevalis means knowing masters of the scripture, means Gandhar Bhagwan. For example, Mahisai Bhagwan has 11 Gandhars, 11 first disciples. Gautam Swami, Gautam Swami, and all those 11 brothers were there. So those are the first disciples, and they are called knowing masters of the scripture. They know entirely all the scripture. When Bhagwan's Omkar Dhvani comes out, then Gandhar Bhagwan, first disciple, and all those disciples, they grab it, they absorb it, and they understand the whole scriptures. And within no time, they create the whole scripture. So they are called Kevali and Sutta Kevali. So Kunkun Swami listened to the discourses from the Kevali Bhagwan, that is Simanda Swami, and he also discussed with the Sutta Kevali, and so he got the knowledge. See, over here he just says, what is the authenticity of me writing the scripture? Because I have personally heard the Omkar Dhvani from Simanda Swami, and also I discussed with her Sut Kevalis, I discussed with them, and thereafter my doubts were clear, and then I came back to Bharat Kshetra, and then I started writing the scripture. So that becomes authenticity on his part. I'm going to tell, as I have reflected thoughts, Vikalp, and also for the benefit of the world is so. The Kunkun Swami, right now, I mean, when he came back from Maidek Kshetra, then he starts writing in his Vikalp. Vikalp means reflective thought process. He starts writing the scripture. He says, I'm writing for my own benefits of whatever I know, whatever I heard, whatever I experienced also. So he starts writing. He says, not only I'm writing for myself, but I'm also writing for the benefit of the worldly souls also. Worldly, worthy souls. If I'm worthy, if I'm looking for I'm looking for liberation, I'm lounging for liberation, then this knowledge that Kunkun Swami has written will be helpful to me. We are lounging for knowledge, so it will be best for us. So for our benefit, he wrote down. For his benefit, he wrote down. So this is called just simply the Gatharth. He just gave the meaning of this stanza he gave. 2 lines of the meaning. Let's go quickly to that those 2 lines that he wrote down. Dhruva achalane anupam gati pamel sarve siddhne vandi kahun sutta kevali bhasit asame prabhat aho. Dhruva means the dhruv means the permanency, constancy. Achal means immutability. Anupam means incomparable. Gati means the siddha gati. Pamel sarve siddhane, all Siddha Bhagwan has obtained these three things. That's why Vandi Kahu means I bow down to Suta Kevali, means Srut, and Kevali Bhagwan Bhashit Samay Prabrataho, means whatever I'm writing down, it is coming from the direct knowledge from the Kevali Bhagwan and Suta Kevalis. So this kind of thing Kunkun Swami tells us in his first stanza only, and thereafter now what's going to happen that now Sanskrit commentary by Acharya Amritchandra Acharya, they will start, and then we'll go through detail, and again Gurudev will give meaning for each and every word. Now, for example, there is word atha over here, there is word at the end paribhashan. So he gives so much detailed explanation. It's mind-boggling that how much deep thinking he must have done it. He got the Samaysar in somewhat 1978, not 1978, our 1978, but 1978 plus 56 means what? 78 and 56 is 78 plus 56 is what? About 1930s or something like that. In 1930s, he got it, Samaysar, 1928 or something, he got it, Samaysar, for the first time in his hand. Then for 12 years, he studied extremely deeply. He did not have anybody to talk to. He did not have anybody knowledgeable person in front of him. He had the knowledge from the past life, and he started imbibing all the things, and he started creating the meaning of all these things. And so finally, after 12 years of deep study, for the first time, he started talking about Samaysar. And I think 1938 or 37 was the first time he gave a lecture on Samaysar. So this is the way Samaysar started. So we just finished the Gatharth. Then we'll do Sanskrit commentary, means Sanskrit commentary, and then we'll go to the Bhava. So it's going to be slow process, but Gurudev says this system is such, you have to go slow, you have to digest. Once you keep on digesting, then and then you understand, because here we have taken vow, we have taken commitment that I am going to understand. It's not simply understanding from the intellect perspective. It's going to change my attitude towards life completely. It's going to make me better human being. It's going to make my human life worth living for. And that's what it is about. Any questions so far?
Can you hear me, Kirit uncle?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, my question is, you said Chaitanya is a gun?
Chaitanya is a gun, yes.
Okay, can you say something more about that? I didn't know that. That's
interesting. Chaitanya, actually, what it is, that there's a knowledge attribute and there's perception attribute. Gnan gun and darshan gun. And Gnan darshan gun combined together is called Chaitanyatva. Chetna. Chetna means Gnan darshan. Gnan darshan means perception plus the knowledge. And knowledge is most important than perception. Perception gives generalized perception only, but knowledge gives detailed analysis of the thing. It will dissect each and everything in such a way to explain to us in a great detail. So Chetna or Chaitanyatva or consciousness, or in other words, knowledge and perception. Those are the attributes. Attributes are there forever. Attributes are never changing. But through the attribute, a mode will come out every samay. Every moment a mode will come out. Samay means, what is samay means? Samay means it is a microscoping time that is spent is called samay. Actually, if we just want to, if you really want to know the definition of samay, let's talk that one right now. In the universe, take the universe, whole universe, and divide them into very possible smallest space point in this whole universe. This cube is there. Take the cube, divide it into two, further two, further two, further two, further. By dividing, it becomes ultimately a point in which you cannot divide into two, and that smallest possible part of matter, whatever space it occupies, is called one space point. So one space point is here, another space point is here, and so there are infinite space points are there that were there. Now, innumerable space point. Now, if you take from one space point to go to second space point, smallest possible speed, one space point to the second space point, smallest possible speed, that's called one samay. This is the exact definition of samay. Now, what happens in this samay? To understand that part, in a blink of an eye, I blink on my eye like this, and innumerable samay pass by. Innumerable amount of samay. Asankyat samay pass by. And each samay has one paryay. Each samay has one mode. So this knowledge attribute, this perception attribute, or combined together, chetna gun, they will have mode each samay, and still the attribute will remain as it is. From time infinite, these modes are coming, and from time immortal, the modes will keep on coming, but the attribute will never get depleted. So that's what it is, Chetna Guna, okay?
Yeah, the other question was, is there any such thing as Ashud Paryay when it comes to Chaitanya, or no?
Now, Ashud, see, mode can become impure or pure, but the attribute will always be pure. For example, now what does mode becoming impure? Mode, when it gets generated, mode has two choices. Either direct attention to my own nature or to direct attention to the alien objects. So mode independently makes the decision either to focus to the self or to focus to the alien object. If the mode focuses on alien objects, that is called Asuddha Paryay. It's called impure mode. When mode focuses on the eternal pure nature of the soul, then it's called Suddha Paryay. So Suddha Paryay or Asuddha Paryay, impure mode or pure mode, is independently occurring in the mode, but the attribute does not do anything in that one. It's a purely capacity of the mode by itself, you know. And for that thing, when we want to go in detail, there is some pravachans are 93 to 125 stanzas are there, and in which it is explained absolutely minutely detail are given that how independence of the mode occurs. You know, mode gets generated, look outside, impure mode. Generated, looks within, pure mode. Happens in one samay. One samay means blink of an eye, or sankhya samay pass by. So each samay, this kind of things are happening. When I'm sleeping, then also my mode is projecting outside. When I'm awake, mode is projecting outside in my mithyatva dasha. When I'm in the samyaktva, when I get a fifth gunsthanak, sixth gunsthanak, seventh gunsthanak, and all the things, then I'll be directing my mode to the true nature of the soul, you know. Any other question? Okay, shall we close here? Fine. Sarvamangalam Sarvakalyanakarakam Pradhanam Sarvadharmanam Jainam Jaitu Sasanam Javani ke gyan se sujhe lokalo Sovani mastaka namo sada deta hundo. 9 times Samukha mantra. Namo Jai Jindra, everybody. Have everybody have a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we'll meet next weekend. Okay, next Wednesday.
Jai Jinan.
Jai Jindra.
Jai Jinan.
Jai Jindra.